Alrighty, so today we are going to be going over your Amazing Grace, your etudes, but first let's go over the
Go ahead. I'm listening.
prescriptions and common ailments. Now, I know you didn't get a chance to read it over the week, but there's some things in here that I want to make note of. First of all, if your tone is too thin or airy, the lips may be too close together or too far apart. Angle of the air may be incorrect and the lips drawn back too far, destroying the cushion or barrel between the lips. Make a fat inner lip and experiment with the air speed and angle. So this is something you'll have to pay attention to because that's one of your issues. But what I want you to do, because I really do want you to read this, next week, because it'll be our last lesson before the jury, I want you to circle some of these that are your problems, and I want you to put them in your own words.
Okay.
Because sometimes that helps with reading comprehension, especially with the particular sarcastic manner that this man likes to speak in, which isn't necessarily an issue, but that way you can really make it for meaning for you. So pick like 5, and then we'll talk about it next week. As far as the jury goes, it's more about me than you. And I don't mean that as in a conceited way. I just mean that I don't want you to be nervous. Okay, they're not grading you. They're grading what I was able to have you produce. So then we're going to do our C scale and our C chromatic. So let's just start with plain old C. So C5 to C6. No, that's C4.
But I finally figured it out this
I'm
week.
glad with the assignment C5 to C6, regular C scale, please. Stop. Cody, only go as fast as you can give me good tone.
Oh, okay. Do you want it as a quarter note on the first one?
If quarter note is...
I couldn't remember how you wanted that.
Well, I mean, I would prefer the eighth notes, but you have a problem with keeping your tone.
Okay.
So do quarter notes for now, and watch your fingers. They're starting to drift off. Give me a good, a bad, and then different.
I thought that was.
So I stop pacing.
I thought that was louder than I normally have been because we've talked a lot about producing more tone with it. I personally feel like that was a lot more rich up top because we talked about how just because it's a flute doesn't mean you have to play softly. And I don't think it was I was playing softly on purpose. I think it's just more I'm still trying to figure out how to control and fill up the instrument with air.
Okay.
Bad. I don't know if it was bad, but like I felt like from playing the lower C that I did before, I felt like that was actually not as airy as what the upper notes were. I felt like the upper notes were more whistly or not as full of tone, I guess you could say.
Alrighty.
What was the other thing?
Good, bad, and different. I'm brizzying you.
Is that a term now?
Yeah. It really is. It's its own dictionary term. I'm brizzying you.
I think the confidence was better, but it still wasn't perfect, consistency-wise. Does that make sense? Like just keeping it steady. I don't know if that makes sense. It wasn't terrible, but I still don't feel completely comfortable, which I think is normal at this stage for me. But
Right.
that'd be my good, bad, and different.
That's very good observations. I like that you were specific. What I want you to do, I want you to do quarter notes again, but you're splitting between notes, like your high and low. Your notes aren't going to, I don't believe, the octave that you're trying to achieve. I'm trying to think if I can show you what I'm talking about. Your
Oh, you can make. You're saying I'm making the C4 with the
well, no, it's not the C5. It's once you get up
to the like the A,
C-
B, and C.
Yeah, up to C6. When you get closer to that, it's drifting, and I think it's just
Not
it's okay.
not.
The
narrow.
higher we go, the firmer the aperture has to be.
Yeah, and the smaller
Yeah, that's what I mean.
the firm.
Firm lips,
Yeah.
smaller aperture. So I want you to try again and really think about that. You know, there's a ton of mouth control that's going on.
Yeah.
Just like if it was a brass instrument. So take a deep breath and try the scales. Okay, there we go. Okay. Licking your lips does help in this case because you've got a lot, and I can actually see it on here. Which I have the same problem, as you can tell, of spit coming out. Lick your lips, maybe even swallow before you take a breath. So to try to help that. But anyway, we're gonna move on. I want you to do the chromatic scale. C5
From C5
to C6.
Okay.
Next week, just before we start, next week,
All of it.
I will expect 2 octaves on C, 2 octaves on F, and I'll show you F. Well, maybe not 2 octaves, at least 1 octave on F, and the whole chromatic scale from C4 to C6.
And one more thing. I
Yes.
already forgot the F sharp fingering. Was it this one?
Yeah, this one. And make sure you're using side B flat.
And then side B flat.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, just making sure. I don't think we'll forget that.
And again, I am sitting so that I don't pace. Take a minute, close your eyes, and think through all of it without moving your fingers. Do the meditative fingering. Just take a minute. Look at your keys if you want to, but don't
I'm
move
just
your fingers.
blinking out on it. I don't know. You practice that.
Which note?
C sharp.
C sharp. Remember we talked about that it's just the pinky?
Just the pinky. Ah! Okay. Now I remember. That was the one I was blinking on. Okay.
Okay, and again, my main goal is tone and articulation. Try adjusting your mouthpiece on your mouth.
Did it slide? Oh, sorry.
Okay, there were 2 things. One of them you fixed on the way down. Your D and E flat. the index finger has to be up. I want you to tell me the difference that you hear in the sound. Not that one.
I hear like when you're down, I hear the, I don't know where it's coming from, but I hear like air running somewhere. I don't know.
Yeah, because this closes off this, where it's
Oh, so it's coming
open.
out of,
Yeah, so if you were to...
and this is on D.
Yeah. But the same applies to... It opens up the sound. It's also, again, the correct fingering, and the specific purpose is, like you said, you can hear it rushing, but you can also, it takes down the pitch. And it gives us this tone that we don't want. So,
that's,
we have to move on, because I spent more time on this than I meant to. So we need to get to Amazing Grace. Again, tone, articulation. Could be better, but I think part of it is you're crunching it again.
oh,
And I know you said something about your spine and whatever, but you are drastically closing yourself off. It's not even just because of the way you stand. So if you need to, roll your shoulders up and back and relax. Because otherwise, because it's also bringing your head forward, and we worked really hard to bring that chin to level with your body. So try again. Goals you want to accomplish by next week.
keep working on my shoulders. Get them so that they're farther, more square with the body. We'll put it that way. I think that's
Okay.
good. I don't think you want to say back. I think square with the
No,
body. would
I
be
don't want
better.
you back.
I thought you can disagree. I thought the second time it was more tone filled and not as airy. Is that accurate?
I think your first playing was a little better,
Okay.
but it's definitely something. Look up a recording of James Galway or Dr. Mars even. She has her own YouTube channel. Really listen to how they're producing their tone, because those are both great examples. And I think it'll help a lot, because you don't have me sitting with you every minute of the day, thank God. Right? I mean, I don't think you'd want my voice in your ear. So,
Hey, you wanted honest.
I know, it was just funny. Anyway, so it'll give you another example. Do the scale for me.
Wait, that again.
They may ask you to play this for the jury. Not the scale. The Amazing Grace. That's why I'm focused on it, but I do want to assign you. So do this again
Okay.
next week. Do your 2 goals on here. We'll get to that in a
What do you
moment.
want?
I'm looking for
This one?
two. Oh, come on, I know what's in here. I thought I gave it to you. Apparently, I was under the wrong impression. Unless it's on the back. What's on the back of Amazing Grace? There we go.
Oh.
I was like, I can't be that crazy.
Oh, yeah.
So we've been doing a lot of flats. We've been doing a lot of no flats.
We haven't done much of sharps.
Exactly. So I really, and this is a lot longer. And this is really a lot of work on our lower register. Because, and the reason is your etude has extremes. And I want you, Amazing Grace is nice and kind of in the middle. This will really work ourselves down. So you'll need to do that. And the sharps, again, are a thing. Especially with C sharp, which I mentioned last week, is really hard to tune. So, yes. Do you want to try to sight read it? I want you to take.
Sure.
I want to take a minute and do the meditative fingering and mark anything you feel you need to mark.
What do I do about that low B?
What low B? That's why the asterisk is here.
That's what I.
Because obviously your flute doesn't have it. You're gonna jump up
To a B natural.
to this B. Well, they're both B naturals, but you're gonna jump up here.
That's what I was saying to the.
Mm-hmm. And then you'll go back down. Alrighty, so take a minute. Mark anything you need to. Alrighty. Remember, use your breath to sort your thoughts.
Oh, that's why. Whoops. My bad.
Which wash swimming?
Would it just be you're just gonna slide
No.
the E?
This is where we use our pinky grease. Oh, I apparently don't have any grease on my face today. Yeah, it's a lot of slide.
Okay.
Something to practice.
Yeah.
Dynamics, which you also need to make sure that you have for Amazing Grace, which I forgot to mention. But otherwise, that was a good read through. Alrighty, let's look at your etude. You're gonna play it down for me.
Okay, what's happening? I don't know what happened.
Okay, I want you to self-assess. I want you to tell me 2 things you could work on.
It's one that was causing it all.
Well,
was frustrated
I
with
know,
myself.
but, and then 2 things that you were good at,
Tempo.
and 2 things you want to do as a goal for the second time you play this through.
Well, I want to be. I'll start with goals. I want to be more consistent with the tempo. I didn't go past the tempo that I set, but I just want to stick with it.
Which is what? What was your tempo?
Well, we decided about 84.
Okay.
I went way slower this week than I did last week, so that was better.
Keep talking, I'm just getting my mention.
I would like to have more. I'm not perfect at tempo recognition, but I was closer this week than last week. Anyway, I would like to have a more full tone. The second time while playing, as in the notes actually come out for me. That'd be nice. What could be better? With that, the not to get frustrated because of notes that aren't coming out. Is the new one. That was the main issue that was happening. They weren't coming out about preferred lines, so not seeing frustrating on the second practices. And then the things I did good at. I think I was doing a good job with articulation, except for the last 2 ones.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I hit
I
on
would
it.
agree.
And the last 2 rooms were because of different reasons. But anyways, dynamics. We don't have dynamics. That is something
Yeah.
we need to talk about. Sorry.
were supposed to write them in for this week.
Oh, I didn't know like what. Like I thought I was supposed to, but I didn't know. Like, are you just?
Well, it's your interpretation. Obviously, it has to be appropriate to the phrasing.
I just feel like the first 4 lines, it's basically just the scale patterns. I didn't know exactly.
Well, you could do hairpins.
That's okay.
Stuff. But yeah, I mean, it's up to you. There are definitely very, very weird ways. I don't want to say wrong, but weird ways, and then there's ones that'll be more appropriate. Especially with breathing and everything else. So this is 84. I'd say you were going a little slower.
Yeah, a little bit slower. I said I wasn't perfect.
Have you recorded yourself?
I did a long time ago, but I deleted it because of the memory on my phone.
Okay, well, try recording yourself. Look at the YouTube. I will leave the one from last week and this week up so you can compare and contrast. Which I can send you a link to. Yeah, we're not going 127 or 227.
That'd be not fun
No,
for anybody.
for either of us. Okay, so let's try this again.
What was happening? Why weren't notes coming out? I have no idea.
I think you.
Was
What
I
happened
getting
was
crooked?
your
Was I eating
mouthpiece is
it?
drifting. You weren't eating it, but the mouthpiece was drifting around, and you started to roll in, and not necessarily that you were eating it. You were just not giving yourself the opportunity to make your wind, because the edge of this is an amplifier. You weren't right here where you're blowing to. Is an Oh, I guess that's the wrong side. Is an amplifier, and so you're not giving it the chance to actually hit because it's like a Coke bottle. You have to hit it just right. So.
Okay. What was my tempo again?
It was softer. A louder. Keep going. Don't lean.
Okay, that was right. Right fingering, just not there. Is there a good way to get? I've noticed where I can do the notes that are step, but the ones that skip, that's where I start having issues. What's the?
I mean, the best way is to take that section and isolate it.
Well, I know that, but I did that, but like, it's just not. I don't know how to explain it.
Like, are you asking? I mean, the first one's an octave.
Yeah.
For this, I would use side. I think it'll give you an easier time if you use side here. Because not every B flat's gonna work for every situation.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
You just need to, your lower notes, your C is coming out perfectly fine. And it's actually the best tone of all the notes you've got in there. What you need to focus on is those lower notes, and I would do some long tones.
Yeah.
So pick those lower notes and really take the time to focus the sound. Anyway, but I do want you to look at your YouTube videos. I've deleted a lot of them, but I will leave last
What
week's and
channel
this
are
week.
they on again?
I will email it to you because you can't find my channel because it takes you to a very weird Jamaican channel that isn't mine. So, alrighty.